and Alex Cruz.
Starting five for the Season 4 champions. Another start for JP Calvo, John Wilson with Will Macaloni, Rob Celis, and MJ Ayaay. Rizal starts off with the former Rice vanguard, Philip Manalang, along with Alvin Alday, Eric Camson, Marco Balagtas, and Eric Pili. Our referees for this ball game are Maynard Centeno, Ron Maluyot, and Philbert Tugab. Fourth referee is Mark Rancudo. Rizal in black, Nueva Ecija in white. The tip going to the side of the road team, Nueva Ecija.
So far, Rob Celis has started in all of the 25 games that he's played. Samantalang Alvin Alday has started in 26 or 27 of the 28 that he's played so far this season. And both those guys, pretty much, pagdating sa scoring, ang talagang inaasahan nga naman itong Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards at itong Rizal Centro Mall Golden Cougars.
That's actually a good point you made, because si Robbie Celis at si Will Macaloni, like you said, they started all of their games. But with regards to their small forward and their backcourt, majority of the time, especially before they incurred those couple of losses, Coach Mike, yung Marcelino twins, pati si Byron Villarias, yung sunod-sunod na nag-start dyan, hindi yan binago ni Coach Don. And then pagdating ng mga talo nila against Abra, and then the latest one against Quezon, he began tweaking that, and JP Calvo since has started all of the games at that point guard spot, as well as John Wilson doon naman sa dos.
Yeah, which is why when it comes to bench points, we talked about it when we covered the game in Bataan. Talagang nag-elevate yung scoring off the bench para dito sa Nueva Ecija. And really much as you talk about the Twins being very potent and a huge threat to their opponents coming off the bench, you cannot help but observe also yung ganda na naging start nito ni JP Calvo para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Nueva Ecija, fourth consecutive season with a winning percentage of above 80%. Also the fourth consecutive time they've reached at least 20 wins. I mean, how impressive has this team been, as Eric Camson scores the first basket for the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Cougars.
I feel it really boils down to their consistency of execution, understanding the focus for this season. And I guess everyone really is trying to get a crack at that title this season in the MPBL. And no exception itong dalawang teams na ito ng both Rizal and Nueva Ecija. Side ball screen.
JP Calvo, short stab by Rob Celis is good. First basket naman para sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Elbow area. You pretty much can make a claim na yan na yung pinaka-paboritong spot nito ni Rob Celis. He really does a lot of things from there. Score, assist, rebounds, offensive rebounds. He is so deadly whenever he's on that spot.
Philip Manalang sidestepping into a jumper, knocks it down for the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Cougars.
This is the second game I've covered si Manalang that really has stayed active at the very start of the game. Will Macaloni right there. What a good drop pass and a good finish by Will.
Tabla tayo for all. Rizal, on the other hand, Coach Mike, whatever happens in their last couple of games, this is gonna be their best overall record in all of the seasons they've been. And this is certainly quite a success for them as a franchise. As a huge reason why is because of that guy who just fouled John Wilson, because si Eric Camson.
Yeah, Eric Camson pretty much has given a lot for the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Cougars, but this pocket pass though, or that pass rather, on that short roll by Will Macaloni, really opening up that space. And again, kanino galing yon? JP Calvo. That's how important he's been.
Nice defensive stand that time by Rizal. We covered their game last Saturday, Coach Mike, and it seemed like they never really got themselves going at any point during that game.
It's hard to believe though that for the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Cougars, who are averaging roughly about 20 plus assists per game, they only got, what, 17 in that match. And you'd like to think that they'll be better in that. 25 assists per game versus 17 in the last, which was against a top team. Speaks a lot of the kind of defense that Pangasinan has put on the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers.
Wala sa tempo, sa timing, sa rhythm.
Agree. And somehow we were there, we covered it. You kind of feel na, something may missing, may missing the factor.
Alam mo, hindi naman din sila nalayuan ng todo-todo ng Pangasinan. As Marco Calagtas knocks down the jumper. Pero hindi mo rin maramdaman na parang they were really legitimately threatening against Pangasinan every time they tried to mount a comeback.
Indeed. And there was no big separation, if you ask me, when it comes to shot attempts. The difference really was on the percentage it makes, which I felt Pangasinan did so much better than that of Rizal in that game. Katulad nga sinabi mo, parang out of rhythm, out of sorts. In shots that they normally would make, they would miss in that game.
Wala lang at the controls. LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Golden Coolers with a 2-point lead. Under 6 minutes left. Camson back to Alday. He drives straight to the cup. No good. Calvo, outlet to John Wilson. Hops into the lane, but he will travel.
Yeah, that's a travel. Could have gone the left side, pero I guess by force of habit, minsan mas
Yun yung pinang take off, yun din yung pinang landing. Camson tried to escape from Mil Macaloni, and will be called with that foul. Let's turn you over courtside to Miss Jana Dialis.
Are we playoffs ready? Yun ang tanong na gustong sagutin ng Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers ngayon. Sabi ni Coach Ralph na unlike last season, sobrang blessed ng kanyang koponan na na-secure nila ng maaga ang kanilang playoff spot at hindi nakadepende sa iba kung makakapasok sila. So, they have already been thinking ahead of time for the playoffs, which Coach Ralph says will separate the boys from men. For this game, napaka-precise daw ng kanilang kalaban kahit sa pag-execute ng simpleng play. So, they prepared by making sure they are detail-oriented when it comes to their defensive adjustments. Keanu Caballero is the only injured player for Rizal today. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, G. And that also coincides with what Eric Camson said during that time when Gianna interviewed him prior to this game. Na ano ba talaga kami? Ano ba talaga tayo? Kasi papalapit na yung season, meron pa rin mga questions on in terms of them still getting into those bad habits. Pero that's a sign of an elite team.
Yes.
Great team na despite the fact you still garnered your best record in multiple seasons. Iba na kasi ngayon eh. Dati kasi parang gaya ng binanggit ni Coach Ralph, hindi pa nila sigurado at this point of the season kung papasok na sila sa playoffs. Eh ngayon, Coach Mike, legitimate playoff contender na sila.
Tama ka doon. Sometimes really it's that conversation with yourself in front of the mirror to ask the question, playoff ready na ba tayo? Diba? But ako, I'd like to think from the outside looking in. But if you base on their losses and the top teams in the regular season, losing roughly by an average of 2 points or 1 possession against the top teams, they should be playoff ready because nasubukan na sila. As you see this fast break right here by the Rice Vanguards, and you gotta go back and defend against the transition play of the Rice Vanguards though if you wanna sneak out this win and claim number 2 spot in the South.
First taste of the lead for NUEVA ECIJA.
Siyempre, nanonood rin dyan malamang itong team ng Batangas because the result here could pretty much determine whether they keep that number 2 or they relinquish it over to Rizal.
3 straight years na sila yung number 2 in the South Division at the end of the elimination round. Talking about Batangas. Last break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke.
And when we talk about Will Macaloni being the hub of the offense, that is really just part of it. I mean, in open transition, he can bring the ball down on the floor and feed off open teammates. Now, it is this part of the quarter or the game where you put in the turbo jets in JC and JB on the floor para dito sa Rice Vanguards. 3 lefties, always at the same time. Jammer, JC, and JB, the 3 Js coming in again in this match. Katulad nung nangyari doon sa Parañaque. Ano?
Sama mo pa yung Christian Manaytay. O yun nga, tatlo sila dyan. Manaytay, Jamie Ramito, and JC Marcelino. Si JV kasi hindi ko malaman kung kaliweting nag-convert ng kanan eh.
Alam mo ako rin, yan ang tanong ko.
Di ba? Parang ganun eh. Pero si Robbie Celis, nakalusot at nakasungkit ng foul laban sa Rizal.
That's a good question to ask. No, the Twins. Kasi yung shot attempt niya no? Parang feeling mo natural lefty siya dati, no? Nakinonvert lang sa right.
Yes. Rob Celis looks good on the first free throw.
How valuable has Rob Celis been for this team? Leads the team in minutes, points, offensive rebounds.
Itong free throw na ito, din sa ating Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Kasama po dyan yung blocks. And his shooting is almost 50% per game, 33% three-point shooter, and 72% free throw. And that is really just how potent a guy like Rob Celis could be for the Rice Vanguards.
Robin Ive using that Mike Cañete screen. Skips it to Philip Manalang, who almost lost it. 3 seconds left on their shot clock. Manalang puts it up, turns around, and puts it in.
One might think that with the clock winding down, you'd like for that ball to be the hands of Manalang from the outside if you're a Rice Vanguard, because percentage-wise, you feel mas mababa yung pagkakataon to labas itong si Philip.
We're tied 10-all. Samboy De Leon working against Jammer Amito. Can't get that one in. JV Marcelino gives it up to Robbie Celis. JC for free. It's good.
You got 5 players on the floor from the perimeter for the Rice Vanguards, pretty much capable of catch and shoot. John, JC, JB, even itong si Rob Celis. And so every time these guys get that ball in the front court, you got to be right in front of them, on your grill, trying to defend against them.
4-point lead for Nueva Ecija. Jammer Amito to John Wilson at the post. This is one of the key matchups. Celis against Cañete. Amito tries a free, puts some arc into it, but can't get that one to fall. John Wilson tries. No. Rebound, Philip Manalang.
Those were a couple of good looks for the Rice Vanguards.
Robin Ive forcing his way in and able to bait John Wilson into a foul.
Well, going downhill, that pretty much is where Robin Ive would like to be. Putting a lot of pressure on that defense as it backpedals. In that case, John Wilson putting a lot of force on that shot attempt against that defense.
Robin Ive at the line. Of course, his better half. By the way, belated happy birthday kay Robbie. Nag-celebrate niya ng birthday just the other day. And also shout out to his better half, Hannah Lirazan, who also played in the MPBL. Baka sila yung kauna-unahang couple, ha?
Talaga?
Ewan ko, di ko alam. Baka, posible. I-fact check natin yan. Of course, Hannah played for Pangasinan. Solar Aces pa yun? Oo.
Yeah, it's interesting.
In the inaugural season.
Yeah, that's interesting.
JV Marcelino attacks. Can't get that one to go. Labayan is now in, earning some minutes here.
Good pull-up.
Dahil nga wala si Kiano Caballero, like
right.
Gianna mentioned.
That's right, and they're gonna have to dig deep, and Labayan's gotta respond. Ooh.
No foul.
No fouls called right there.
Much to the surprise of Billy Robles.
Yeah, I thought that was body contact on that drive. He's not gonna fall just like that. See that again. That pass, that shot.
Katulas na.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Naive, guarded by JV Marcelino. Now it's with Labayan. Trying to shake off JC, but could not. He was denied emphatically from behind.
If you're not gonna beat them downhill, they're gonna beat you upstairs. Look at that. It's the takeoff, really.
Cañete turns down that outside jumper. Nice fake.
Oh, yes.
And puts it up and in.
Mike Cañete. Many times I may sound like a broken record, but he's one of the more consistent Rizal Golden Coolers so far. JC open lane, you can't allow him to get on that side of the floor.
The way he uses shoulder to protect that ball against John Apasible.
Tsaka mabigat nun, you're trying to take away that left side of the floor, but he too can still finish going right.
Time winding down in the first quarter. Bola na agaw, but Nueva Ecija will not get off a shot in time. But pretty much a very tightly contested ball game, Coach Mike. Biggest natin dito.
Totoo naman yan, but a little bit better shooting para sa Nueva Ecija. 37%, samantalang itong Rizal, a lot of makeable shots, similar to how they started against Pangasinan, but they're only shooting 25%. But the good thing though is their second chance opportunities. That's where they mostly get their points here in the first quarter.
First quarter complete, Nueva Ecija with a 2-point lead over Rizal, 15-13.
Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers. That's why when it comes to second chance opportunities, they're third at 15.1 per game because they take a lot from that stat line.
Labayan pulls up. It will bounce off the rim. JV with a rebound. Kay Christian Manaytay. Lalapit si Christian inside. Amito left that one short. JV gets it back once more. JC with his second three-pointer, and Nueva Ecija with their biggest lead at 5, 18-13.
How many left-handed players you have on the floor right now? There's 4 of them, right? Para sa Rice Vanguards. And that to me, magkaroon ka nga lang ng isang player na kaliwete, medyo mahirap na kasi kontra-tempo yung mga galaw. It's tough for a right-handed player to cover them, but you got 4 on the floor right now for the Rice Vanguards.
Agawan sa bola, nakuha ni JC Marcelino. Feeds it to Christian Manaytay. De Leon desperately tried to stop him, but to no avail. Manaytay gets 2 points.
Well, normally Christian Manaytay would have finished that off stronger, but that time he...
For more, let's go to Gianna.
Coach Don Dulay is using this game as an opportunity to refine the details of his team before the playoffs. Kailangan daw nila na mas mag-communicate sa laro na ito, lalo na defensively, knowing that Rizal is one of the strongest offensive teams this season. Pagdating sa preparation, sa ensayo daw nag-uumpisa ang intensity ng Nueva Ecija. Coach Don attesting their practice sessions as the reason for their good standing this season. He jokes our scrimmages are so competitive because nobody wants to lose against their teammates. So it's a huge help during the actual games. Back to you, Ken and Coach Mike.
Thank you so much, G. Nueva Ecija looks to stay sharp as they head into the playoffs, Coach Mike. And again, kabalik tayo dun sa huling talo nila, no, against Quezon. Such a letdown of a loss at home. They were up 18. Quezon took the lead for the first and only time with that Diego Dario free. And then the following week, we saw the message of Boss Bong Cuevas at the half, where ang sabi niya, no, ang tumatak talaga sa akin yung kahuli-huli ang binanggit niya na gusto niya managdagan ng banner ng Nueva Ecija doon sa Nueva Ecija Coliseum. And for them, it's pretty much championship or bust for the last 4 seasons.
Oh, tsaka alam naman niya ng nila Coach Don. Meantime, as you see this move right here, and that shot blocked by Jammer Hamito. And that good recovery by the Rice Vanguards. And to your point, if you're a Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, year in and year out, it's always been, to my understanding, an expectation that you need to be in there battling it out in the national finals, to be playing and be the last winner on the last game of the season. And this is really what the Rice Vanguards are focused on. That's the drive. And when Coach Don mentioned on that report by Gianna that they hate to lose against their teammates in their scrimmages, to me, that's very important because if you're gonna play a lot of defense, you have to take a lot of pride in it. Kailangan medyo may yabang ka ng konti, hindi ka magpapatalo, which is exactly the kind of, motivation or character or personality that these Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards need to have if they want to get that really good stop. And so far, they've been pretty good on the defensive end, allowing only 70 points for their opponents. Matter of fact, they're 5th ranked this season, but just like champions are, they're not satisfied. So they want to defend some more.
Just take note of this stat, Coach Mike. For the last 4 years, Nueva Ecija has been the winningest team in the regular season. 94-9. Maniniwala ka ba yun yung record nila? That's the best in that stretch. Better than Pampanga, better than San Juan. I mean, can you imagine how they're so used to winning and yet they're so hungry for even more?
Yeah, and yan naman talaga ang kailangan na kultura na binibigay mo para sa team mo. I mean, for you to have that kind of a performance over the last 4 years, well, the last couple of years have been tough because there's Balti Baltasar, but these guys continue to compete, and I like to believe when they met in the North of playoffs, the Rice Vanguards, in my opinion, really just ran out of time. They were in there trying to compete against the tough team led by Balti Baltasar.
Imagine mo, yung dami ng talo nila in the course of 4 seasons is just one more compared to the number of losses of the top 4 and 5 teams in the North. As you see that move by Christian Manaytay. This season lang yun, ha?
Yeah.
Yung Pasay, Pampanga, 20-8 sila. Nueva Ecija is 26-2.
Yes.
And then dating back all the way to 2022, 94-9 po sila. Ganun po sila ka-dominant.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I don't know if Coach Don would agree with me on this. It don't mean a thing without the ring. And
Ayun
so,
naman.
you got to come up with a title at the end of the season. And then you start celebrating for all the things that you've achieved. And I like to think these Rice Vanguards are really hell-bent on winning that title this season.
Yun talaga yung flip side doon. Again, everything but the title, yun ang talagang hinahangad ng Nueva Ecija.
And indeed.
See that shot there. Just like that, Coach Mike. It's up to...
Off on that alley-oop. What a play.
And one of the most athletic backcourts here in the league. Rizal sues for time. They now find themselves behind by 13 points. Linares Center in Montalban. And we saw how Rizal really falls short against Pangasinan. Pretty much, Coach Mike, talagang catch up sila ever since Pangasinan turned on the Jets in that first
Down to shot making as the key difference. Walang clear na advantage across all. Except for yung assist na +1. I think +7 ang Pangasinan goal.
signature Jammer Hammer from Jammer Hamito.
Pangalawang laro na to na cover natin na pinakataan tayo ng martilyo na to ni Jammer Hamito.
Hilig niya yung offhand pa niya yung ginagamit niya.
Kaya mas lalo magandang tingnan no?
Oo.
And it's a 2-foot slam, That's a vertical. Man, Jammer Hamito showing us the hammer. This short roll right here and a good feed. Ooh, with a right hand and with the authority. Eric Camson couldn't do anything about it.
14-1 run. Man, Rizal, only 1 point here in the second quarter. Alday makes his move against Billy Robles, Vintes. Rizal has been scoreless for the last 3 minutes.
That's a long scoring drought, if you ask me. And it shows in the percentage. They are 18%. Matter of fact, they have 4 more attempts versus that of Nueva Ecija. And that's tough.
14-1 second quarter for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Foul on number 16, Tolentino gonna take his first.
Just a point to show so far dito sa ating second quarter. And you can't afford, one cannot afford to have these kind of, empty scoring.
Robles missing his first free throw. Former champion with the Davao Occidental Tigers alongside Coach Don Dulay there. And, gusto nilang dalhin yung kanilang championship tradition dito sa isang kupunan na subok na rin sa pagkapanalo sa kampyonato ito Nueva Ecija.
And si Billy is a guy that's always ready. And he keeps staying ready. When his number is called, he is gonna be in there, ready to do whatever the team needs for the Rice Vanguards. Regardless kung ilang minutes siyang ilaro, whether he's shooting well or not, he's gonna make it up for other stuff like rebounds, defense, all these other stuff.
This crowd, Coach Mike, has become eerily silent. And we've got a good sized crowd tonight. Probably one of the most we've had here this season. And if you're Rizal, you want something for your home crowd to cheer about, especially papalapit na yung playoffs. And also, like we mentioned at the top of the coverage, if they get the number 2 spot, they will have home court all the way until the national finals if ever umabot man sila doon.
That's right. And which is why this game is very important for Rizal, because you do have that chance to try and claim that number 2 spot. And waiting on the wing, syempre, itong Batangas Ram Masters.
Robles pulls up off the mark. Neil Tolentino grabs the rebound.
I love that box out by Mike Cañete on Will McAloney. He's got to go to work now.
Son, pabantang tira. That will not go in. Rizal continues to struggle here. Only 3 points in this quarter. Byron Villarreal sinks in that free from the right wing.
That guy shot 7 of 10 in their last game versus Parañaque. And right now, he's continuing with that number.
Alvin Altay flips it up. No. Foul will be whistled against Billy Robles.
Foul on number 26, Billy Robles, his second substitution of the series.
Simple lang eh. Araw lang nila yung bola dito. Yung Villarreal, they close out there by Rizal.
Yeah, you can't allow that much space. If he's holding the corner 3, you got to stick with him, okay, Byron. Because a lot of his shots have really come from there. And so what you want to do for 3-point shooters is really make them dribblers. Make them dribble penetrators instead of just catching and shooting from the outside. But then again, there are some things that's easier said than done, because you also have to be mindful of the paint. Because you got Billy Robles, you got Will McAloney, you've got the drives of Jesper Ayaay. If you're gonna leave out that spot, then open yung corner nila. Ay, yung paint nila.
Villarreal tries another free, no. Bola nakuha ni Neil Tolentino. Behind the back by Philip Manala, who goes coast to coast, and something to the delight of the crowd as Philip Manala puts it in plus a foul.
And just the energy that these Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers really need. They can recover the ball, Philip on a foot chase, downhill, able to stay with that balance and kiss it off the glass. What a tough play for Philip Manala. And he's been that addition to the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers that has helped push the pace.
Just anything to ignite the crowd.
Agree. He's an edgy player, plays with a lot of passion, brings a lot of energy to their team.
Alam mo kasi, bagong venue ito eh. So of course, if you're Rizal, you're trying to introduce yourself
Agree.
to the fan base.
Agree.
And a win here might just really endear you to these loving fans here in Montalban and help you get a boost come the playoff time.
Exactly. as you head into the playoffs, especially when you get that number 2 spot.
Calvo steps into the lane, niluwa yung kanyang tira, tatakbo dito ang Rizal. Although Nueva Ecija quick to get back in transition. Camson will not force up a shot from the outside. They go to the post, Cañete.
They've had
Backing
success
down,
here.
Robbie Celis. Manalang with 8 on their shot clock. Philip spins. Goes inside! My goodness! Now you see me, now you don't!
Boy, what a move by Philip Manalang. Bringing everything in there. Putting that ball on the floor, getting in the gut of the defense, testing it, using those foot speed and that feet work though against the big man, and Will Macaloni that good finish.
Mixer, great move of the game, born for greatness.
And he just woke up this crowd here in Rizal.
What a move from Philip Manalang, the former Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard. And Rizal home crowd erupts here. Nueva Ecija sues for time. Back with us here inside the Inares Center in Montalban. Something to cheer about para dito sa Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers.
And the crowd really getting into it now. You said a while ago this was an eerily silent venue, but now Philip Manalang has brought them to their feet.
Commissioner Kenneth Remdes with Head of Security Rudy Distrito. At the far end, Head of Operations Emer Oreta. Lead down to 10. Celis almost lost his dribble. Finds John Wilson open for 3. Off the mark, Camson grabs the rebound.
You gotta get it out quick.
Alwin Albay puts pressure on the defense. And Nueva Ecija forced to give up that foul.
Well, momentum has shifted a little bit here to the Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers, thanks to a couple of really good plays and quick action by the Golden Coolers. And they play with a lot of pace. It puts, more pressure on transition defense para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Alwin Alday at the line. It's good on the first free throw. By the way, Rizal against teams in the North Division are 9-5. So that includes losses at home against Abra and San Juan and Pasay in overtime.
Now that one was painful.
And then meron din silang mga talo against Pampanga on the road, and on neutral ground, tinalo rin sila ng Caloocan. So those were some of the top 5 teams. Then Pangasinan pa. Actually, top 6 teams in the North, tinalo sila.
That is right. And ever since Rizal turned into that zone after that made 3 earlier by Byron, things have slowed down offensively for the Rice Vanguards. And the Stars are rising to the occasion for Rizal right now.
Naibaba ang lamang sa 6 na puntos. 14-1 earlier. And now Rizal with a 13-4 run to cut this lead down from a high of 17. It's now at 6.
A little bit of a drought here for Nueva Ecija. And this zone has really slowed down the execution. Battle of 2 bigs right here. Eric dug in, couldn't get into the paint. Settled for that elbow jumper. Good finish.
Sorry, let me check myself. They're 8-6 against teams in the North. Itong Rizal. So those 6 teams, those 6 losses came against all of the top 6 teams in the North, excluding Nueva Ecija. They're facing right now.
Correct.
And with 56.9 seconds remaining, we have a timeout here. Back with us here inside the Inares Center in Montalban. Something to cheer about para dito sa Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers.
And the crowd really getting into it now. You said a while ago this was an eerily silent venue, but now Philip Manalang has brought them to their feet.
Commissioner Kenneth Remdes with Head of Security Rudy Distrito. At the far end, Head of Operations Emer Oreta. Lead down to 10. Celes almost lost his dribble. Finds John Wilson open for 3. Off the mark, Camson grabs the rebound.
Gotta get it out quick.
Alwin Albay puts pressure on the defense. And Nueva Ecija forced to give up that foul.
Well, momentum has shifted a little bit here to the Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers thanks to a couple of really good plays and quick action by the Golden Coolers. And they play with a lot of pace. It puts, more pressure on transition defense para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Alwin Alday at the line. It's good on the first free throw. By the way, Rizal against teams in the North Division are 9-5. So that includes losses at home against Abra and San Juan and Pasay in overtime.
Now that one was painful.
And then meron din silang mga talo against Pampanga on the road. And on neutral ground, tinalo rin sila ng Caloocan. So those were some of the top 5 teams. Then Pangasinan pa. Actually, top 6 teams in the North, tinalo sila.
That is right. And ever since Rizal turned into that zone, after that made 3 earlier by Byron, things have slowed down offensively for the Rice Vanguards. And the Stars are rising to the occasion for Rizal right now.
Naibaba ang lamang sa 6 na puntos. 14-1 earlier. And now, Rizal with a 13-4 run to cut this lead down from a high of 17. It's now at 6.
A little bit of a drought here for Nueva Ecija. And this zone has really slowed down the execution. Battle of 2 bigs right here. Eric dug in, couldn't get inside the paint. Settled for that elbow jumper. Good finish.
Sorry, let me check myself. They're 8-6 against teams in the North. Itong Rizal. So those 6 teams, those 6 losses came against all of the top 6 teams in the North, excluding Nueva Ecija. They're facing right now.
Correct.
And with 56.9 seconds remaining, we have a timeout here. Babalik kami Nueva Ecija with a 6-point lead.
To respond to ball on the perimeter and try and generate closeouts.
10 seconds left. Shot clock ng Rizal.
Fans having fun. Yeah.
Lagi yan. Matik yan. Dito sa Montalban. Binanggit ko yun, yung record nila against teams in the North. Pero pagdating sa South Division, very impressive din naman sila. Coach Mike, 12-2 as Eric Camson turns around. Tolentino is down on the floor.
Is that Mocon? No, it's not.
Si Toto.
Si Toto, all right.
Yeah. Si Toto o Celis? Hindi, si Toto nga. That's Byron.
It's Byron, right, it's Byron. See that here. That box out. No, he was all over Byron. Took him down. Well, I thought that was... Wow.
What do you think?
I seriously think Byron was on a good box out situation. And Neil got, out position. So he had to hug and take down itong si Toto.
So dapat kay Neil lang,
Dapat kay Neil lang yun.
Bola na Nueva Ecija. 42 seconds remaining. Rizal Still trailing by 6, putting some pressure in the backcourt. Calvo able to escape Philip Manalang with that behind the back dribble. Rizal in a zone as Alday intercepts that pass, comes away with a steal. Alday derecho. Tyron Chan standing his ground, but comes on there. Walk back will not go in. Numbers for Nueva Ecija. Nice pass. Celis attracting the defense, but Calvo fails to finish. Celis attacks. Another pass from Calvo. This time, it will still miss. 2 seconds remaining.
Oh my.
And a bad foul by Robbie Celis. They are in penalty.
Number 8, Robbie Celis penalties first.
Oh wow.
And they might review this, Coach Mike.
How about a couple of misses though? That was a good basket cut. Really just did not decide to go in. They go the other way. Oh yeah.
Possible upgrade to unsportsmanlike
Could be.
foul.
Could be.
Pero hindi. Blocking foul lang daw. Pero
Okay.
penalty na ang Nueva Ecija dito.
Just a little slide of the hip in the direction of that path by Philip.
Huge turn of events for Rizal.
Well, the turn really is because the zone has put Rizal in a zone. Defensively, they've stopped all those dribble penetrates, allowed only shots from the outside, contested shots in the paint, and then run the other way on misses.
And this guy pretty much at the forefront of that. And this is a player we're not accustomed to seeing looking for a shot. And he had to do it here in the second quarter. And it paid dividends because it ignited a rally here for the Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers.
And he really has been, you know, the reason why this pace has gone up. Oh, that's a travel.
Yup.
That's a travel by Byron. Right. Happened right in front of us.
Meron pa bang oras dito? Wait a minute.
Yeah, they should still have time on the clock. There should still be time on the clock.
Eh kung may review nila, dapat tawagin nila yung Nueva Ecija. They're heading to the
No,
back.
they're heading to their
I mean,
dugout.
seriously.
Agree. This.
Wala na. Wala na
Ah,
oras.
okay.
It's 29-33.
Okay.
For Nueva Ecija Rise Vanguards.
Well, interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think there should have been some time on the clock.
Right.
But still,
Probably around 0.8 or something,
Oo.
0.7. That would still be enough for a shot, especially if they inbound from the back.
nonetheless, Rizal finishing things off on a 15-4 run to close out the first half. Nueva Ecija still on top but only by 4, 33-29.